Dave, we've actually made it to our second installment of what we are going to dub our model show spotlight. And we're going to try to do this once a month and showcase a show that's going to be coming up in the month adjacent. Every month we're going to try to do this. And tonight we've got some folks who are putting on AtlantaCon 2024. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well, why don't you two introduce yourselves? Kim, why don't you go first?
Okay, my name is Kim Elmore, and I am one of the two co-chairs of AtlantaCon. Our show is run by two clubs, IPMS Atlanta and Marietta Scale Modelers, and I am a member of IPMS Atlanta. Now, Mike, you can introduce yourself.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm Mike Idacavage. I'm actually a member of the IPMS Marietta Scale Modelers. And for the AtlantaCon 2024, I coordinate the contest itself, including judging. Been in IPMS for quite some time. In fact, Mike and I overlap a bit.
Yes, we do.
On IPMS, yeah. So this is just another one of a very long line of successful shows that both IPMS Atlanta and IPMS Marietta have put on. In fact, probably be worth mentioning is between Kim chapter and my chapter, the Marietta, we're 2/3 of the 3 chapters that put on the 2019 IPMS Nats in Chattanooga.
Now, how long have you two, have Marietta and Atlanta, been doing a combined contest?
I think it's been since about 2013. There had been contests before that. I think, Mike, you would know this better than me because I'm a very relatively recent member. But Marietta had been doing a show, and then they stopped doing the show. And Atlanta started it, but we brought in the Marietta Club. And so I think that started about 2013.
Correct. Yeah, that's. I think you're spot on there.
That's what we are seeing. I can tell you from my work inside IPMS USA, we are seeing more and more shows where you're getting combined show that's being run by 2 or more chapters, simply because it spreads the workload, more hands make for lighter work. But that's become a very popular trend of late.
And when you have when the clubs are very compatible, when the people get along together, it's just like it's a single club. It works out real well.
It has worked well. And for a long time, the official chair was only someone from the Atlanta Club. But a few years ago, we decided that this really is an equal partnership, which is why we do have co-chairs. Although Mike's here representing it instead of Buzz, our other co-chair.
Well, Kim, you have my deep sympathy for having to work with Mike.
He's okay.
No.
He's a great person to work with. He is fantastic.
We tease because we love.
We are honored to have him.
Well, let's hear a little bit about this show. Now, the co-hosting is not just, this is not a invitational show, is it? Is this the regional show for?
Yes, it's the regional
correct.
show this year. Yes.
Well, give us the spiel on the show.
Well, I don't know what to say about the show other than it's a really good, mid-sized show. We try to let everyone have a good time. Last year, we had in the neighborhood of 100 modelers entering models. We usually get between 400 and 500 model entries. We have 86 vendor tables this year. Some vendors have multiple tables, of course. Last year, it was a total of 37 vendors and a good wide range of vendors. Mike's going to talk a little bit more about some specific vendors, but we have everybody from, larger companies to the guy who has too many things in storage and needs to, thin out his collection. And that's where you can get the bargains.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite.
Yeah, we have a good facility. It's large, well lit. It's convenient to get to. We're about a mile off I-75. Free parking. In spite of inflation, we've kept our cost to enter the contest at $10 with a $2 discount for IPMS members.
Yay.
General admission is only $5, and it's free for kids up to age 12 because we like to encourage children and other young people to get into the modeling hobby.
Where is the show held exactly?
We're at the Lockheed Union, one of the Lockheed unions. They're local. It's a union hall, and it's on Marietta Parkway. The address is 1032 South Marietta Parkway in Marietta, Georgia. As Kim said, it's off I-75. It's about 1 mile west of exit 263, so 263. So really easy to get to.
Mike, I was going to give the full name of the union, and that's where I always hesitate. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah, but it's right next door to what used to be Southern Polytechnic, which is now Kennesaw State University. We're right next to it. And so there's a good variety of restaurants around there for lunch. For people coming in from out of town, there are a number of hotels nearby. It's a very convenient location. And like I said, it's the Union Hall, so they have a huge parking lot in back. So it's easy to park, walk in, and get into the building and bring your models in.
And what's the date?
The date is March 16th. The times are 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. That's 9 a.m. is when we open the doors to the public. And model builders can bring in their models and register them for the contest up until noon. And then we start the judging normally about 1 p.m., but that's Mike's end of it. So I'll let him talk about the judging.
And the vendors.
And the vendors, yeah.
Well, he'll talk about the list of vendors because he knows more of these vendors than I do, although I'm getting to know them pretty well.
Kim, I think it's because they know my money over the years.
That may be it. I don't spend quite as much as you do, although I say I'm a new modeler, so I do have my stash of unbuilt models, and I'm working on it. My husband has been a model builder all his life, and we've been married 40 years, so we've had models around all these years, but I'm fairly new to the hobby, but I do have my stash.
Well, Mike, let us know what's going to be happening at the show.
Okay. Let's start out with the vendors because this is where we are just at. As Kim mentioned, we have 86 tables worth of vendors. One of the largest presents is Squadron. So a name that's very, very well known to Plastic Modeling Mojo listeners, the podcast listeners. They're going to be there in full force. And another one that is the first time we've had them at our show, other than the Nationals, is UMM, USA.
Oh, good. That's always a fantastic vendor.
Yes. Between the tools and the rather unique tools and some hard to find kits, they're usually one of my first stops at the IPMS Nats. Some of the other vendors that we have, which really stand out, are Cult TV Man for the real space and science fiction fix. We have Werner's Wings, primarily quarter scale and 32nd scale helicopter accessories, John's Models, Dean's Hobby Shop, and as Kim said, a host of people trying to thin down their stash and hopefully at a good price.
Well, we always look for those.
Yeah.
Moving on from the vendors to the contest, last year we had about 425 models enter. So it's a reasonably good size show. What's nice about this one is that they're usually spread out across 41 different categories. If anything, in the last couple of years, we've been heavy in cars, the automotive.
Mm-hmm.
We use the categories that mirror the IPMS Nats, but you'll recognize the numbers of the categories when you see them. We just take them and brought them over to ours. But we get a really strong automotive turnout from the local clubs in the area, which is a little bit, as I go around to different shows in whether it's Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and so forth. Cars are there, but this is a little bit of stronger, bigger presence and some really, really great paint jobs. But of course, the usual armor and aircraft, civilian, science fiction. We have a separate Gundam categories, due to their popularity. So it's pretty wide ranging what you get to see.
I assume that the judging is classic IPMS first, second, third.
Correct.
And do you have some special awards?
We have the best of awards, like best aircraft, best armor, ship, diorama, space sci-fi, and automotive, and a best of show. Traditionally, we used to have a theme award, but and I don't know if you've seen this. We've tended to get a pretty low number of submissions for whatever the theme is. So it isn't just a 1-year thing. Over 3-4 years, we decided that, well, nice to have a theme, but to have a special award was not as competitive as we would like.
Understand. Well, is there anything we haven't asked that you would like to tell us about the show?
One thing I would like to comment on is I thought of it when Mike was mentioning the support that we get as well, the number of car models that we get entered. One of the things that I enjoy about our show is the support that we get from other local clubs. And in fact, a few of them have offered to sponsor some of our best of categories. This year, the Acme Club, the Atlanta Car Model Enthusiasts, are sponsoring our Best Automotive Award. And the Jim Galloway chapter of IPMS, the South Metro chapter, is sponsoring our Aircraft Award in honor of one of their club members. So we get a lot of help from other clubs in our region, either as vendors, sometimes as sponsors here, as judges, as, contest entries. And so that's something that we really appreciate.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, a lot of club invitational type shows in the region have started picking up the sponsorships from other clubs, and it's just a really good thing to help the host club along with the financial side of this.
Yep, absolutely.
I do have one.
Sure.
To kind of pop this in because it's a little bit lighthearted, because if you're coming to an all-day show and you get done by 4 o'clock, 4:30 or so, most people tend to be hungry, especially if you just ate a light lunch. I'm not sure if Dave or Mike, did either of you go when you're at the 2019 Nats in Chattanooga, go to the diner that was about a block away?
Yes, I did.
There is an exact clone of it, probably if you hit the light right, 4 minutes away by car.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From that. It's called the Marietta Diner. It's a little less than a mile away from the contest, and it's identical to what was up in Chattanooga.
And that was good. That was a great little spot to get out of the hotel and the convention center and run over and get some good food. So that's nice to have those options around.
It sure is. I mean, we have the standard fast food around there, but that's somewhat unique, and especially if you look at all the cakes and pies that they have to see. They're always hard to pass up.
Okay. Well, if we've covered everything, I just want to thank you folks for joining us. Kim and Mike, thanks for agreeing to come on and let us help promote your show.
Great. And thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yep.
All right.